Welcome to KNN. KNN is brought to you by Bob Knakal, Chairman of New York Investment Sales at JLL.
Hi, I'm Jon Hageman, Managing Director at JLL. Welcome to KNN. Today I'm here with Bob Knakal, Chairman of New York Investment Sales, and today we're going to talk about a milestone transaction that we just completed. So Bob, usually here we talk about trends we're seeing in the market, the numbers that we've seen in the different asset classes, but today we're going to talk about a milestone transaction you just completed, sale number 2,222. Why don't we talk about it?
Sure. Well, Hagsy, it was a milestone transaction for us. I think sale number 2,222 in 2022 is kind of a neat thing. The Observer wrote a nice piece, "Twos are wild." I think it makes you be a little bit introspective and think back on, it's a long career. I'm in year number 39 now. We've been together for over 20 years, which is amazing how time passes so quickly. But thinking back on it, I knew we were going to talk about it today. The sale of 150 Union in Brooklyn, a big apartment building that Adam America built. It makes me think of the things that allowed for this type of track record. I came up with 5 T's.
5 T's.
5
okay.
T's. First T is, I think, to become really an authority on the market, an expert on the market. You have to track the market. So, one of the things I did from very early on, back in the old days, Paul and I really dug into relatively small areas, but tracked everything that was happening. Who was buying, who was selling, who owned the buildings, what was happening with different aspects of the market, what zoning was going on, zoning changes, what new developments were happening. And so tracking the market and understanding the market really is a keystone of having a foundation to be able to articulate to a client what your value proposition is, how you can help them, because what we really deal in is not bricks and mortar, it's information. The bricks and mortar are what the information is based on, but we're really trading in information. So it's important really to track the market, understand what's going on, and that kind of leads into the second T, which is trends. Understanding trends. Everyone tries to figure out where the market's going. We all know where the market has been.
Sure.
There are reports written about how many sales happened. You have all this data, what the prices were, et cetera. But the real key is figuring out where the market's headed. So looking at trends, understanding trends, trying to see trends before they happen. I think one of the best illustrations of this, if you remember when the market was shifting, in 2006, 2007, and we did a couple of land sales that were significantly higher than the market had been.
Sure.
No one was really aware of that. We were doing BOVs telling people we could get them 600 a foot. Other brokers were saying 400, and we sold several sites in that few month window where we got significantly more than other folks were talking about. And that's really because we were looking at the trends, studying the trends, looking at things broadly. One of the reasons why I love stats so much is that gives you a historical perspective, and you see how other cycles performed, and that gives you some insight into how the current cycle might perform. That's something that we need to be focused on, is the trends.
So Bob, before we talk about the other 3 T's, just as an aside, how did you know that it was sale number 2,222?
Well, Hags, as you know, I love stats, right? And I love going on Michael Stoller's show. He refers to me as a statistician because I like to talk about the market in statistics rather than adjectives. And I think my affinity for statistics really started as a kid playing baseball. I was a pitcher, Little League, high school, college, always tracked my pitching statistics, and I got that wanting to track those stats from being a baseball card collector as a kid. So I collected baseball cards. I used to look at the back of the cards, see the stats, that's where my affinity for statistics came. So when I started in the real estate business in 1984, I started to track all of my activity. So used to keep them on handwritten sheets, and you guys got me to convert everything to digital. So we now actually have a spreadsheet of all of our transactions, all information about the transaction, so we know exactly how many sales, how many buildings, how many transactions we've done with each client. And so it's just been kind of something to to keep an eye on and a fun thing to look back on when we close each successive sale.
So great. So let's talk about we did the first two. Let's talk about the third T.
Third T, really probably the most important one, and that's teamwork. I've been very blessed over the years to work with some really great people who have helped, and there's no way you do all that business by yourself, and having a great group of colleagues to work with. I mean, it's just been fantastic working with you all these years, and over 20 so far.
Right back at you.
Who knows how long that will go, but no, your help to me has been invaluable, and the help of so many of the folks that we've worked with, Absolutely. All of whom, whether they're still working with us or not working with us, still good friends
Absolutely.
Of ours. But I think teamwork is really important. You can't do this business alone.
No.
You need good folks to work with, and we've been really, really blessed to have some great people working with us over the years. So that's been a wonderful thing. Fourth T, technology. I'll take you back to the 80s when I started in the business. No computer on the desk, no cell phone, no fax machine. It was like the dark ages, carrying a roll of quarters around. And when you'd go to show a building and somebody didn't show up, you went down to the corner, called them, they wouldn't pick up the phone, you wait another 15 minutes, walk back to your office. So technology has really changed things, and technology has sped up the pace with which transactions can occur. Interestingly, there were more transactions in the 80s than the 90s, 90s in the noughts, and more in the noughts than in this decade, or last decade. So there isn't more commerce being done, but I think what technology has done, it's enabled an individual to do more because of the exponential leverage that you get from using technology today. So it's a very different world today than when I started out, and I think that technology has allowed us to do over 100 sales in several years. There's no way with the 1980s technology that could be done. So I think technology plays a vital role in this.
So that's 4 T's now. What's the fifth and final one?
Fifth and final one, I think, is tenacity. I think that in looking at people who have done extraordinarily well in our business,
Yes.
They have a passion for the business. They're tenacious about the way they go about doing things. We always say to be successful, you only have to work half a day in our business, and it doesn't matter what 12 hours it is, but you got to work 12 hours a day.
That's right.
And 6 or 7 days a week.
Yep.
But I think the tenacity is something that has been relatively easy for me, only because I love the business so much. I feel very, very lucky that this business is not only my career, it's also my hobby. And I think it's the same for you. So, I think having the ability to focus, work hard, work smart, and be tenacious is something that has allowed this to happen as well.
So 22, when do you think it ends, Bob?
Hags, I don't think it ends for me until maybe they put me in the ground. I talk for a living. I don't have to, it's not manual labor. So, I love the business. Going back to the baseball theme, I love baseball. I think it's a great achievement when a hitter gets 3,000 hits in their career. That's kind of a big milestone. So I'm forging ahead, looking forward to building sale number 3,000, and hopefully it's going to take a while to get there, but I think if we keep working hard together, I think we will get there at some point, and I look forward to that.
Me too.